This is Belizean Legends, and today we'll be speaking with Brother David, and that is Bredda David. We will be talking about this legendary Belizean artist's life from his movement from Belize, from Los Angeles in 1983 all the way up to Belize when he migrated into Belize, and his dynamic work that he has been able to lay down in terms of Belizean music and Belizean black history. Brother David is not only a renowned Belizean musician with a high caliber under his belt, but he's also a Belizean activist and one who has done a tremendous amount of work in terms of the Belizean black people. Brother David, I want to welcome you to Belizean Legends.
Thanks very much, brother, for having me.
You became one of Belize's repatriating artists, and that means that you have left Los Angeles where you migrated in the 60s, and you lived in Los Angeles for a long period of time where you became an awesome musician. You played rock and roll.
Yeah,
you a guitar player, and you for a period of time you mimicked the original Jimi Hendrix style.
One of my greatest inspirators.
And very much so. And I remember you in 1983, you were then a reggae artist at that time.
Yeah.
Talk about that period. Give our viewers an understanding of what that period was like for Brother David in Los Angeles.
Well, like Hendrix was a great inspirator with the instrument, the guitar, and Peter Tosh and Bob Marley were great inspirators through the lyrical context. You know, so what I did basically in that time around 1981, 82, reggae music was just coming to Los Angeles. And I had just passed through the rock and roll era. And when I heard about reggae music, I said, well, this is from the Caribbean, and then the lyrical context really got my attention. I was fortunate to be around some of the local musicians that got me involved in meeting some of the Jamaican musicians that came from the island. That was a whole spiritual upliftment at that time. I had already lived in New York also, and I had a band in New York and in Los Angeles. So I decided to put our own group together representing Belize by the name of Unity. And that group consisted of, on drums, my second oldest son, Ricky, and Raymond Barrow on bass, Lesman Sosa on guitar, and a young Afro-American by the name of Craig Tamlin on keyboard. And you know, we had a really good vibe between us, so we were able to fit into the reggae scene, known to the people as Unity. And we were part of building this great Bob Marley Day shows that they have for 2 days. We were part of the group that helped to build that, you know. That was really a very strong spiritual time.
Yeah. I remember that very well, the band Unity, Raymond Barrow. I remember driving all the way up to Santa Barbara in 1983 to see you perform.
I remember that.
You know, and songs like Land of the Free, Belize. You just came out with that first album. What was the name of that album again?
No Fear.
No Fear. A matter of fact, on that No Fear album and that very track that I just mentioned, we used that as the signature tune on Belize Caribbean Pulse on KPFK in Los Angeles. That was for many years we used that.
I want to thank you guys again too, because that was a great upliftment for the media artists, you know.
Yes.
Hearing somebody using your song for a signature tune,
yeah,
which still happens in Damriga, in my hometown. So many days I'm in Damriga and I'm saying, wow, this is really cool. For now you're home.
Yeah.
And the radio station in Damriga is finding your music to be a signature tune, you know. Yeah. Very satisfying, you know.
Very much.
These things help you a lot, you know.
Very much. And when you talk about that also, what comes to mind is that we played you a lot on Belize Caribbean Pulse because the No Fear album contained a lot of dynamic tracks. Mm-hmm. And you appear to have been experimenting with the Congo song from that time. Talk about that.
Well, the first song on the album, the very first song, the name of it was Congo. And then the hit song from that album, I think it was the first Belizean classic hit, was the song Experience. When that went to Belize, it was like Belize had never heard anything like this from a Belizean, you know. So that was a great experience. Up until today, a lot of people still use the word experience to send a message and to express true feelings, right? So that was from that album also, and the song "Land of the Free Belize." That was I had started to blow the trumpet in saying to the Belizean people, we need to be proud Belizeans, you know, and make noise about it, you know, be proud Belizeans, and it did work because when Belize they also used the song for a signature song, you know. Put it this way: the musician, if you're blessed with the inspiration, you're usually futuristic looking. And that whole album was futuristic looking. That was Congo, Experience, Land of the Free, and Dancing.
Yes, Dancing, beautiful track right
yes,
there.
And as a matter of fact, I have a guy right now for the last 6 months that has been communicating with me that has a radio program somewhere in Orlando. And that's the song that he first initiated, or he was asking me if I could please send him this song. But he wanted because it was like the vocal tracks and it was also the instrumental tracks.
Right.
This was kind of like strange. In this 2015, somebody is emailing you asking you for the song Dancing that came off of your first album because he wanted to use it for a signature song in Orlando. You know, that's really hip, you know?
Indeed.
What he did was motivated me then to make CDs from the albums, because I still had a copy of each album, you know, that we did about 3 albums. In those days it was records.
Yes.
And Stone Tree, and I took it to Stone and Josh, and he made some CDs for us from it. So that guy kind of motivated me to do that. Because before I just had the record, you know.
Yes. We want to talk about what your style is, the Congo music. You created, you innovated a style of Belizean music that is very dynamic, in that you appear to have taken Belizean Creole breakdown and fused it with Garifuna Paranda. Mm-hmm. Is that what you actually did when you created Congo? Talk about that.
No, remember when I started Congo, we wasn't even hearing about breakdown or Paranda. But I was thinking Caribbean.
Yes.
From the reggae, I'm thinking Caribbean.
Yeah.
And one of the experiences that really compelled that idea was one night we went to listen to Dels and the Sensation, which was a group that was playing reggae music and all of those Caribbean music. Long time reggae. These guys was playing it at dance and things like that. You know, reggae wasn't known to people. We just knew it was a Caribbean beat coming from Jamaica. And I remember the Jamaican brothers was just starting to come to Los Angeles because mainly they lived in New York.
Yeah.
And they came to the show and we were backstage, and one of the Jamaican brothers made a comment that Dels wasn't really playing reggae. You know, and it hit me right then, you know, wait a minute, Belize doesn't really have a music. You know, I'm a musician and I'm saying, Belize don't have a music, you know, this guy. So that puts him in a position to be able to critique that music, whether it be positive or negative. I said, but if you create your own music, nobody can really critique it negatively, or you know, you're the one that is creating. And at that moment, the idea of creating Congo music came to me, and we had already contributed a lot to the reggae music, but Belize didn't have a music as such. We did have breakdown, but nobody was really paying attention to breakdown in that time. Because when I went home, I had to work with Mr. Peters and we tried to develop the breakdown music again, right? But at that moment when that guy made that comment, it hit me that we need to have our own music.
Yes.
And I did some meditation on it and I came up with the word Congo, because Congo, I knew when we were small, we use it meaning let's go.
Yeah.
It's a plural word, it's a positive type of a thing. It's kind of like companionship, let's go, Congo.
Yeah. From the Creole dialect, Congo, let's go.
Yeah, but you see, we use the word Creole, but because of my awareness, I know it's more African.
African, very much so.
Congo is more African.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
So, that's how Congo music really got started, right?
Yeah.
And then I was ready then from performing with the Jamaicans and learning more about my African history from the Jamaicans, because they brought a lot of knowledge with them when they brought the reggae music. And I remember being in a place and time with some of the brothers where I think, I don't remember his name right now, but one of the real strong reggae artists, and he said, like, Brother David, you know, you're very strong, your personality is very strong in the music, why don't you take it home? because out here you'll just be like a number. He said, but if you go home, you could affect your country a lot from what I hear that you do among the brothers out there. He just kind of picked me out, you know. And that resonated in my mind too. And I was already kind of thinking Belize because of the awareness.
Yes.
Now you're getting aware, you know, I need to go home and check out something because I hadn't been home in a long time at that time. And one thing led to the other. I decided, let me see if I can finish an album and take it home. And this is called The Birth of Congo Music. And give thanks, it worked. You know, the people appreciated the music, the timing was right, and the rest is like history.
Indeed. Over the years, as you lived back in Belize, and beautiful history story that you gave in terms of your transition from the United States back into Belize and how that consciousness played out. Who were the forces that were behind it that encouraged you to do that, as you speak about the Jamaicans. Yeah. But as you lived back in Belize again, over the years we noticed that the Congo music began to become more refined.
So when I went home and No Fear was the first album, and then we did Congo music. And when I did Congo music, she made a comment to me, said, now your music is starting to be more Belizean.
Yeah.
You know, and that was kind of touching, you know, but and then I said to myself, okay, and then Mr. Peter started to like ask me, why don't you come and play with me, and you know, and that was like going to the University of the Afro-Belizean music. They call it Creole music.
Right.
But it's really the Afro-Belizean. Mr. Peters is an Afro-Belizean person.
Very much so, very much so.
So I got connected to that music very easily, and I listened to the music and I'm saying this music is easy, but when I went to play it, it wasn't that easy, simply because your spirit.
Yes, it's a feeling music.
Yeah, your spirit from living in America from all these years, you know, it's not, you hear the songs easy, but you have to have a spirit to play it.
It's a feeling.
It's a feeling.
Yeah.
And I started to play Mr. Peters, and I remember sometimes when I would be playing with him and we gonna make the chord changes, he'd be doing his head like that.
Yeah.
To tell me, well, it's time to change.
Yeah. You picked up vibes.
Right, because I really wasn't, as strong a musician as I was, I really wasn't hearing the changes.
Yeah.
Because it's cultural, right?
Exactly, improvisation.
So I spent a lot of time with Mr. Peters, you know, contributing my professional experience to Mr. Peters. And he contributed a lot of his experience and the culture, mainly the culture to me and my son Nekruma. And at that time I used to take India with me too.
Yeah.
You know, so India got some of it too. Right. You know? And that started to, like you say, shape the music into a Belizean sounding music, you know. Then I started to enjoy it, you know. I said, oh yeah, you know, and then what happened now? Instead of just using the Belizean sounding music, I incorporated what I had learned in America inside of that.
Yeah, so you can hear the rock and roll.
You put that
guitars.
That's right, make it international.
Yeah.
And hey, this is working for people that come to visit the guests. They like it because they identify with it. You know? This is unique because mostly in Belize, the Belizean musician doesn't hear that because he didn't play rock and roll.
Right.
We don't have a lot of guitarists. Now we're having some rock groups, right?
Very much.
But they haven't started to incorporate that song into the Punta rock music or it's in the Congo music. Eventually we put that song in there. Then the music will go to another level. But the brothers haven't really hit that note yet.
Yes.
And then, remember now I'm from Danriga in a sense. I grew up in Danriga. So after establishing myself in Belize City, I think I lived in Belize City for maybe 10, 12 years before I started to progress to Danriga. And then when I went to Danriga, now you're back home now. And then now you start to feel, when I got there, I got to some of the guys from Sun City, and then we started to push the music in Danriga together. And Penn was
your capital then.
That's right. Penn was the only one that did the turtle shell type vibes. And then now we started to add keyboards. And
Encanta, which is the original of the creator of the Punta rock
music. In Penn music, it's like the drums and the turtle shell, and he plays his guitar. Now we started to incorporate the keyboards and all of that. So we started to create another kind of a Punta rock. This is the one that's like Song City, Songs Incorporated, Poots the Titiman. You know, these are some of the Mohobo. That Punta rock is different
Chico Ramos and then
Chico Ramos, that's different from
yeah.
Punta Rock, that Super G and these younger musicians
Yeah,
are doing now.
They take it to another level.
Another level.
Yeah.
So I was in there with my Congo music,
Yeah.
incorporating now. I'm incorporating whatever drum songs I hear from my girlfriend and brothers. I incorporate this into Congo music because that was lacking. Because it was just like the keyboards, guitar, and the drum set. And the Kuma was always playing the live drum set.
Yeah.
And then when you put some of that element in it, now the Congo music, now it's starting to take shape. You know.
Yeah, because when you hear a song like Warrior Pan, I don't know, you could hear that paranda. You could hear that. You could hear that paranda.
But it's
Warrior is so integrated of your refinement of the Congo song.
Correct. It's so rare that you choose a song and like listen to, you know, a lot of people still have not really heard that song.
Look at that. Amazing.
And because the history that I'm talking about in that song is really
some serious history.
I'm talking about there, about where the black people lived,
exactly.
where the African people lived in Belize City and the different towns that they had.
And all that.
And I can't off the top of my head right now, but I'm talking about these places, and people used to come from all over.
Yeah.
You know, the African people used to come from all over to meet in these places to celebrate when they came from the camp. You see, when they came from the camp.
You mentioned that in Ghana plantation. That is another beautiful Congo song with the Brockton and the Punta and the...
Check this out. My plantation again, because of our people again, the Afro-Belizean again.
Yes.
These are the black people that didn't stay within the confines of the Europeans, but they left and they went to Gales Point, Manatee. They always refer to them as the runaway slaves.
Yes.
Now check it out, these are not Creole people.
Yeah.
These are runaways, these are African
Black
people.
slave rebellions. That's what you were talking about.
They live in Gales Point and they're the ones now that have kept the Samba music from that. And a lot of people in Belize haven't heard the Samba music.
Very much so.
When I went there and I heard this thing, when I said, man, check this out, and I said, this is Africa all over again.
That plantation is intricately Samba.
It's Samba. My plantation is Samba, much of that is Samba, old house is Samba.
Yes.
But what I did when I heard, we recorded it in the original form with the drums and the singing.
Yeah.
But the people in Belize didn't catch it, they didn't play it on the radio station enough, and it just didn't click, right? Because at that time we had the Punta music coming in too, so that was easier to relate to. Yeah. Because remember, Belize haven't heard the Samba for a long time, unless you went to Gales Point. This was not a music that was everywhere.
Yes.
So when I said, no man, this music cannot waste just like this. I will combine the Congo music with the Samba.
Yes.
Because now the people are starting to catch on to the Congo rhythm. So they'll accept the Congo rhythm.
Yeah.
And then the lyrical content.
They're hearing themselves in it. The Creole, the black people of Belize called Creoles are hearing broke down in it on Samba. And the Garifuna people, the other black people of Belize is hearing Paranda inside the music.
So they're feeling the music and the lyrical context.
Yeah, they could connect.
It's totally positive. So this is kind of like unusual in environmental, but hey, we love this. Belizean product, experience, stand-up Belizean. Hey, this brother, he sing one thing where usually the Belizean artists don't sing about. That's the way I learned from the Jamaican also. The positiveness of the lyrical context.
And you have been very consistent with that, brother David.
Only that I know
you have not changed a bit in terms from the day you left out of the United States with that Congo song. You landed in Belize, you kept on refining it and putting it to a higher level all the time to the way you are right now.
And the beauty about that is like now we have a lot more help.
Yeah.
You know, now over the years, because when I first went to Belize, my brother, for find musicians to think about what I was thinking about coming out of this environment wasn't easy.
Very much so.
But my whole journey was home to share what I had learned.
Right.
So even though it wasn't easy, it was easy.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. Because I do nothing else anyway. This is what you came to do. And I got full support from the people in Belize. That's like the key.
Yes.
I got full support from all the areas you could, from the media. And it's not like 100%. You will have a little, but the media, the politicians, the people, the establishment, everybody put in to help build the music.
Yes.
Even though I wasn't necessarily talking what maybe a lot of the whole people would have preferred, but they, even they were willing to assist with what I was doing because it was positive. Yeah. Remember, you know, positive is overruled over negative.
There you go.
Every time. And I knew that. So my journey, I knew was going to be a little bit longer, but a little bit more interesting.
Yeah. Talk about the new album, Mama Africa. I know that you have kept the Congo song still very much positively and deeply involved in this project. Talk about the Mama Africa project. Well, what is different or new about this new album?
Well, now after I have sung songs of freedom, my plantation, Mochila, which is very cultural, and the meaning in there is very kind of like past. It's just repetitious, but you do that too to connect with the people. It worked. The people loved it. I decided, okay, I'm really not interested in continuing to do that, because the musician is the original priest to the people. We have something very important that we need to do within our lifetime when you're a musician. Share as much of the knowledge that you get with the people through music, especially the Afro-American people, because that's where our strength lies in the music.
Very much so.
So maybe I don't know how many more albums I'll do, but I said, no, this is the time now I have to really start sharing the message of Mama Africa with my people. Simply because, like in a country like Belize, you don't hear a lot of conversations about Africa.
Very much so. Very much
because
so.
That's not the teaching.
Yeah.
It's not downtrodden, but it's not brought to the people. For example, you don't have that in primary school. There's not a teaching. I remember when I started high school, I always remember this. Our teacher was teaching us about Roman history.
Very much so.
What that has to do with me.
Yeah.
And that teacher, when I look back, and unfortunately, sometime when he came in, that guy was smelly of alcohol. Yeah. I'm sure that black man suffered because he was teaching black children about Roman history when he knew that didn't have nothing to do with us, but it was a job. Yeah. I'm looking at it like this, you know. Yeah. And up until today, I was doing a lecture at Tamkik Ecumenical High School about a month ago, pertaining to this very topic on the Afro-Belizean. Because, like I said, we don't touch it enough, you know. Yeah. And that's the only school that I think they are doing some sort of African history. Yes. Which should be done at a primary level. Very much so. Yeah. But remember, in our political system, the educational system, usually the ministers of those departments, if that minister is not aware himself of how important it is for the school to get it, then that would not be his main interest to do it.
Yes. It's just like to say that if a minister never did play sports,
that's right,
he cannot become a good minister of sport because he has never been an athlete in his life.
Not that he cannot be, but he's more likely not to be.
Same thing with music.
Same thing with music.
And same thing with history.
Same thing with. And that's why, like, when I went home, I had to do so many changes in the music to fit with the people too. Because there's no point in me just playing the music the way I'm living in America.
You got to make it adjust to the people's conditions and to the people's liking and
understanding.
Because they will reject it once it's not connected to them. They will not want to hear it.
Correct. And, you know, I was aware that because I made that mistake when I was playing rock music. You know, we got into three-piece Marshalls and making rock music, high boots and all. We did all that stuff, right? And we came down to the Belize program 10th of September, because we started the Belize 10th of September program that we have in Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York. Wow. We are the people that started that in Los Angeles. September time we got together, we brought a little PS
Day in the Park events and
Day in the Park. And when the first show, when you go back to history, the first show that we did when we did that program, it was a rock group that I brought to the program.
Wow, look at that.
A three-piece rock group. It was me, Manny, and Lem.
Hey.
You did? I think have that video from that time. So, you know, I understand that, and it was like we the three-piece group, we played for Belizean people, and let's say 100 people was out there, maybe 2 or 3 people enjoyed what you did, in the sense because only 2 or 3 people understood what you were
doing. Exactly.
You did? So I learned in element, if you want to connect with the people, you have to meet the people, so you can't just do what you want.
Exactly.
And a young musician plenty times has to learn that, because when you're learning and and you're a strong, determined musician, and you want to do what you want
to do. Yeah,
and sometimes you have to say, no, in life you can't just do what you want.
Exactly.
Sometimes you have to make shift to adjust
the beat. Yeah.
And I'm glad I learned that.
Yeah.
And that's what I did in Belize. I had enough time to think it out and to try it. And now we are blessed with our own recording studio. So from this album, when you listen to this album, you can really hear the expression of Brother David Obi and tribal vibes, even more, because along the way we did a lot of this adjustment type thing.
And you had control over the music, being that you did it by
this one. Yeah, we really had control over the music.
Full 100% control over it.
That makes a lot.
Engineering and everything like
everything.
That. Yeah, you know what you wanted. Of all these years now, you know exactly what that song is supposed to sound like.
Correct.
And you had full control over this.
Full control, and I get a lot of help now from the young musicians that are engineers. Because they're the ones that have to teach us all this computer stuff.
Yes, they know all
the youths really, I depend on the youths now. It's gotten to that point, right? I know I have the know-how, but I don't have the technology know-how. But I'm pretty good with it, but the youths really know it. So when I have to call someone to come and help, they're always willing to come and help and show me. So that has really added a lot, right? Even the guy that makes our jacket now, he's been making our jackets for
all made in Belize.
All made in Belize. Made our jackets.
Belizean product, like you call it. Like the track Belizean product. Another fine track again from Brother.
Belizean product. Belizean product.